SEC Network. Saturdays start in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Fall weather, and it's still late August. It feels like football. It's finally back.
Every fall, something beautiful begins again. The colors return bold and proud. The band strikes up. The lights come on. The volume rises. And just like that, it ignites.
Goosebumps, baby. Goosebumps. This is why we love college football.
This is where stories unfold on 100 yards of open possibility.
What a catch! That is absolutely ridiculous. Wow, what a hit!
The chance, the chaos, heartbreak, and glory.
Don't want to hear no more talking. It's time.
This is college football.
It's game time, man.
And this is just the beginning.
Well said, Ethan Hawke. FX is the Lowdown, starring Ethan Hawke, premieres September 23rd on FX. Stream on Hulu. Here come the Kentucky Wildcats, ready for 2025. Playing one of the best teams in the group of five today, the Toledo Rockets, here on SEC Network. He's the College Football Hall of Famer, Matt Stinchcomb. I'm Taylor Zarzer. Alyssa Lang's on the field. You'll see her in just a second. Kentucky's had to wait 9 months to play a football game. Toledo 8. The wait is over.
Yeah, both these teams have to be eagerly anticipating today's matchup for two different reasons, really. The way it went last year for Kentucky, just the 4 wins. Toledo probably eager to get restarted. 8 victories, 2 of them versus Power 4 teams, 1 of them here in the Southeastern Conference.
Well, Kentucky has a bunch of fresh faces, Mr. Stinchcomb. 55 of them on this roster, including their brand new quarterback, the ageless Zach Calzada.
Yeah, he doesn't lack for experience, a familiar face around this conference. Spent time at A&M, Auburn, and now finds his way to Kentucky. And this isn't new for the Wildcats. They've been able to go into the portal, bring guys into this program who with varying degrees of success, the zenith of which was probably there with Will Levis there in the middle. They're looking to recapture some of that magic at the quarterback position. And they think that they've got the ingredients in Zach Calzada.
Regardless of quarterback play, you got to move the guys around up front. And that's the thing that Mark Stoops wants his identity to be again, energetic physicality.
And that's the hallmark of Mark Stoops' teams. They're very physical, blue-collar kind of guys. You can see the way they ran the football last year versus what they allowed. Didn't run the ball well offensively, didn't stop the run well defensively. They need those lines of scrimmage to be more assertive.
Let's hear from Coach Stoops. He's standing by with Alyssa Lang.
2 words yesterday, energetic physicality. That's what you've asked of your entire team. What does that look like for them today?
Just high intensity. I want great energy. I want to play between the, in the whistles, obviously. No extracurricular. First game of the year, everybody's going to be amped up. We're tired of playing each other. But I want to see great energy, and we have to be physical.
Well, Zach Calzada and Kentucky have a tough opponent today. The Toledo Rockets, coached by Jason Candle, have one of the best programs in the group of 5. You think back to what they did last year, the last time they played an SEC opponent. Toledo went to Starkville, Mississippi, and whipped Mississippi State last year, 41-17.
One of the highlights of Toledo's season a year ago, getting that victory on the road, obviously in this conference. And as you mentioned, a decisive victory, but a bit of an up and down season for Toledo. They capped it with that victory in the bowl game over Pittsburgh. Can they pick up where they left off?
You see it there. If he wins today, he's the winningest coach in school history. We think we have one of the best games of week 1. Let's get ready for Kentucky and Toledo. Toledo won the toss. They deferred. Kentucky will receive. First meeting happened, the only meeting happened 6 years ago, as called by this play-by-play guy, that analyst, and that sideline reporter, and the producer today. Good to be back. At the 2, that's Kendrick Law. Law through the middle of the field. Gets up to the 28. You already see one new face in Kendrick Law. We expect to see a lot more of him today, not only as a kick returner, but as a wide receiver, and maybe even in the backfield. We talked about Zach Calzada. From Texas A&M to Auburn to Incarnate Word to Kentucky. 23-9 as a starting quarterback in college football. Doesn't need to play hero ball today, Matt. Just needs to run the offense for Kentucky.
They talked about it a lot. He even mentioned, I'm a game manager, kind of trying to talk himself into that role. Don't need to be risky early on in this contest.
On the first play, another fresh face, Seth McGowan. First carry as a Cat. A flag comes down as he gets up near the 35-yard line. Today's referee is Kyle Olson.
Holding, offense, number 9, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Jamori Macklin, the receiver, holding on that play.
But you can see what Kentucky wants to open up with right on the ground to see if they can take advantage of what is a sizable difference along the line of scrimmage. Toledo's active along their front. They can help Calzada today with a strong ground game.
Ball now at the 21-yard line, 1st and 17. And to McGowan again, and Seth goes straight ahead up to the 23-yard line. We talked about Calzada, all the places he's been. How about McGowan? Oklahoma, went to play NAIA ball in Texas, then Butler Community College in New Mexico State, has had a lot of adversity. But he led New Mexico State in rushing last year with over 800 yards. They expect him to be one of their bell cows in the backfield, along with another new face, Dante Dowdell. We'll see some of him today. 2nd and 15 for Calzada. Plenty of time, and underneath pass is caught. Out past the 30-yard line goes Willie Rodriguez. It's a pickup of 8. It'll be 3rd down.
Kentucky's really excited with what they have in Willie Rodriguez. Not a big guy. He's not going to be a big thumper, although they do use multiple tight end sets more than most offenses. Today, we'll expect to see more of just one tight end, one back. Rodriguez in that bunch of receivers towards the top of your screen.
Kentucky was only 33% on 3rd down last year. Struggled to stay on the field. Calzada throws, caught, 1st down, past the 40. Jamori Macklin making up for the penalty.
Rockets only rushed 4, great pocket to throw from. Nice and clean, kept it wide. Calzada layered that ball in there. You see the Rockets, 2 defenders in there, one underneath. A well-placed ball to Macklin, able to make amends for that early holding penalty.
11 yards for the senior from Missouri. Used to play for Mizzou and for North Texas. Straight ahead, it's Dowdell. That's Dante Dowdell. He played for Oregon, where he was limited for a couple of years. Then he went to Nebraska and ran for over 600 yards with 12 touchdowns. In fact, led the Huskers in rushing last year.
You look at Kentucky, they have in their offensive backfield at the running back room 3 leading rushers, obviously from 2 other teams, and one Jamarian Wilcox. We'll see how much we see of him, but Dowdell and McGowan, both prolific rushers last season.
On 2nd and 5, a toss ahead to Law, and it's blown up. That's hardly Gilmore, excuse me. And in the backfield, back at the 40-yard line, it's a loss of 7 on the play. Malachi Davis
And they showed that look, very first play of the game, where they pulled the backside guard and tackle. And that time, Malachi Davis, instead of squeezing down with those pulling linemen, he played upfield, trying to get the Rockets to lean to their left and then sweep around with that speed. Great job by Davis of getting upfield to defuse it.
Now 3rd and 10 after that loss of 7. Calzada, time. One-on-one ball, sideline. Caught inside the 25 by J.J. Hester. That's a 34-yard completion from Calzada to Hester.
Another beautifully placed ball. You can see Hester stumbled a little bit in his route. Didn't go out of bounds, able to stay in.
Kentucky's going quickly here, Stinch. They want to make 26-yard line. Yep, and here it comes. They tried to get it off.
They were set right there, Taylor. I'm actually surprised.
The catch is under video review.
I'm a little surprised they didn't go ahead and snap the football. I mean, they were set. They did a good job of getting up and over the ball. Bush Hampton, offensive coordinator and play caller here at Kentucky, talked about we want to play with tempo more than anything. It doesn't just mean hyperactive. It means in instances like that where you can change the throttle, maybe take advantage of avoiding a potential review.
We'll look here.
If anything, it looks almost like his left foot might have made contact after he possessed the football.
Did his torso come down before the legs came down, I think is the question.
The majority of it, we're talking knees up, out of bounds. See Jason Candle, helpfully, the head coach for Toledo, trying to help out the side judge there, out of bounds. The question is, did he get that left foot down before the rest of it landed out of bounds?
Candle 4 seasons with 9+ wins, 2 with 11. Never a losing season. He's been the head coach for 10 years, been at Toledo since 2010.
Again, watch his left foot, or right foot rather, as it grazed the turf before he comes down. I don't know that first one does. Does his left foot make contact before the rest of it does? The right foot had the first swipe at it. The left foot maybe did.
The right arm is coming down right as that leg was hitting the ground. So close.
Very. Whether you can come up with anything that would indisputably overturn this. Hard to tell if that left foot's grazing.
Replay official Chris Rape is taking a long look at this. He just came into our booth before the game started, and we were talking about some of the rule changes. Of course, the big one is feigning injuries this year, and how that can cost you a timeout if your team does that at all in 2025. We've already seen a couple of instances of that in Week 0 games. There's also some new verbiage, too. It's not going to be stands or confirmed. It's upheld if the call stands. Of course, overturned if they decide it's an incompletion.
I'll tell you, they might be looking at, was Hester juggling the football a little bit as he was coming down? He definitely completed the catch, but what did he possess it? Did he have firm control of the ball before he would have established himself out of bounds?
After video review, the ruling on the field has been overturned. It's an incomplete pass. The receiver's right elbow was out of bounds before any other body part touched inbounds. It'll be 4th and 10 at Kentucky's 41.5.
A big question, would there be enough evidence to overturn it? And evidently there was, and that is a big call. Instead of a 34-yard catch that puts Kentucky inside Toledo's 30, they have to punt in their own territory.
Think back to that negative yardage tackle, a tackle for loss by Malachi Davis. They're trying to sneak a fly sweep to the left side of the offensive front. Davis with that negative yardage play stymied this offensive possession to open the game.
Aiden LaRosse, the South African punter, is back for the Cats to punt. Bryson Hammer waiting on it. There's another booming punt from LaRosse. Hammer has to dive on it near the 12. It's a 47-yard punt. Toledo gets the football for the first time when we come back. Welcome back to SEC Network College Football, presented by Allstate. Toledo Rockets have the football for the first time in 2025. No score here in Lexington. Tucker Gleason is their quarterback. His 5th year at Toledo, his 6th year in college football. He's thrown for over 4,100 yards, and he had 2 Power 4 wins last year, beating Mississippi State, beating the Pitt Panthers. On the first play, it's a handoff to a familiar name to Cats fans, Chip Traynham. Traynham spent last year at Kentucky, 2 years at Arizona State, 2 years at Ohio State. He's been all over the place. They couldn't get him healthy in Lexington. He's fully healthy, competing against the Cats now, playing for Toledo. No gain on that first play as Sam Green made the tackle. 2nd and 10. Gleason steps up, throws, middle of the field, picked off. J.Q. Hardaway.
Taylor, we talked to Brad White the other day, and he felt like this secondary is the strength of the defense. Probably was a season ago. A little bit of pressure in Gleason's face, and Hardaway just steps right in front of that throw. Early takeaway for a secondary that this Kentucky Wildcat team is counting on to really be the cornerstone. They've got some returning players back there. They were horrible in turnover margin a season ago, +1, and get excellent field position, kind of in the same area, had they not overturned that reception earlier by us.
It's the one thing that Jason Candle said his team couldn't do, make its own mistakes. And Gleason on the first pass of the season does, and here's Kentucky with a short field. Handoff, Dowdell hits the hole hard. And is past the 25, climbs down to the 24. It's going to be interesting to see here at the beginning of the year, Matt, how Kentucky uses Dante Dowdell and Seth McGowan. It seems like it's simply getting to know these guys. Who has the hot hand? You're in the game.
Well, they're both similar builds, really, when you look at them. These guys can get downhill a couple of runs, including that one where they're able to explode in that pile, pick up another 2 or 3 yards, pushing bodies backwards.
Calzada in pistol set with Dowdell behind him. Dante, they fake it, and Calzada keeps it and gets the first down.
This is the element that I think is probably underrated with Calzada. He's got a big arm. Watch this, he's just reading the backside edge defender. You see as he crashes down, was loose Julian. It's an easy pull read. Just pull it out of the belly of your tailback and keep it to the backside. Make the defense wrong after the snap.
First set of downs using those zone reads. Calzada keeps again, and Calzada wisely kept to get something out of nothing. Of course, Bush Hamden is the man calling these plays, Matt. A second-year offensive coordinator for the Cats. It's the first time since 2020 that Mark Stoops has had the same offensive coordinator for a second season.
Yeah, 2 years in a row. I mean, some might say Liam Cohen was here, but he wasn't there 2 years consecutively. Came, left, went back to the Rams, and came back here to Kentucky. They have not had the luxury of consistency at the play caller spot on this coaching staff.
Calzada to the corner. Incomplete. Tried to get it to Gilmore. Andre Fuller in coverage for Toledo.
I'll tell you, Taylor, real time, what the fans are upset about is it did look like as Gilmore, watch as he reaches right at the pylon. No, I thought maybe, check out the pylon cam. They get popped. You know, all that contact, and Gilmore just kind of got tangled up. I thought maybe he was held right at the pylon, and instead just got a little hung up in the hand fight.
3rd and 9 now. Calzada stands tall, incomplete across the middle, but here are the flags. Fred Ferrier was the intended receiver.
Pass interference, defense, number 0. Volley placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic, first down.
You called it before the officials called it on Nasir Bowers.
Just a little bit early. See him hook, upfield arm. Just his left arm in Nasir Bowers. You see that a lot. The DBs, they got to time it well. They kind of slingshot themselves in front of the receiver. Easy call. Good call by the official.
1st and goal, Kentucky. Seth McGowan to the goal line. At the 1, he is down. 2nd and goal.
Excellent push. The left side of that offensive front. Big Josh Braun got great movement right down the inside. And this is something that they want to do. They want to do come out of the gate and assert themselves. When we say energetic physicality, there's a better way to demonstrate that than with a downhill A-gap run right next to the center and guard.
Fullback comes in front of Dowdell, who replaces McGowan. Dowdell follows him, but doesn't get in, at least yet. Well, they're marking him short.
They're trying to blast it in there. So just wrap big Jalen Farmer around it. I thought maybe Dowdell on his second effort was able to get in there. Great job by the Rocket defensive front. What you've got there is you've got a ton of humanity, and then you're pulling a guard to dump in another 320 pounds. Great job of anchoring that point of attack by the Rocket defense. The way the offensive line has played early, other than the negative yardage play on the sweep.
There's 5 seconds left on the play clock here.
A long time.
And Calzada barely breaks the goal line. Touchdown, Kentucky. He barely beat the play clock, but he puts Kentucky on the scoreboard first.
The defense did a great job of setting the table for the offense. Offense kind of diffused itself. Tackle for loss, holding penalty, incomplete pass on a deep ball on third down. Defense did a great job of creating that short field for the offense to punch it in. And Mark Stoops over there talking with his quarterback, probably talking about that management of the huddle.
Yeah, I'd like you to break the huddle before 5 seconds left. Jacob Coway makes the extra point, and Kentucky strikes first.
The Wildcat defense. They're hoping they return to form. A little pressure. Gleason gives a gift to the Wildcats. And it costs the Rockets 6 points. Kentucky up early.
This is SEC Network College Football presented by Allstate. Kentucky 7, Toledo nothing. Here on a beautiful fall-feeling August day in Lexington. Certainly grateful for that. Zach Calzada scores his first touchdown as a Wildcat. This is one of 4 games involving SEC teams right now. Auburn, big win last night at the Baylor Bears. Alabama's at FSU in a little while on ABC. And tonight, LSU is at Clemson. I don't think that you're going to be taking a lot of steps at home today. Just lounging and celebrating college football being back.
Pull up some couch, veg out in front of the television. Look, you've been active the other 9 months.
into the end zone for a touchback. To the queen of the crew, down to the field, and Alyssa.
Hey, Taylor, when it comes to Tucker Gleason, obviously he didn't start this game the way he wanted to. 2 plays in, he throws that interception, went right to the bench, and picked up the iPad to start to diagnose what went wrong. But coaches are so confident in his ability. He's been around for a few years now. Coach Candle said he's comfortable in his own skin. He can run it when he needs to. He did a great job in the preseason of getting the ball exactly where it needed to go at all times. He's developed along with his O-line. We'll see if he can bounce back here.
Gleason hands to Trainum, running laterally against his old teammates. Gets a yard up to the 26. Gleason, the senior from Tampa, Florida, in his 6th year of college football, had a good year. Last year, 24 touchdowns, just 8 mistakes. Especially in Starkville, he was 23 of 28 passing for 3 touchdowns in that game at Davis Wade Stadium, and of course had the big win in the bowl game against Pitt in 6 overtimes. You think these Kentucky defenders are fired up to tackle Chip Trainum? Alex Afari, loss of 2.
No, I think they heard a lot about their performance a season ago. I know this coaching staff reminded the defensive line, just no movement, great job. And you see Afari, he gets upfield right now, unblocked, clean in the hole, and able to knock him back. The ground game just not getting going right now for the Rockets. They're trying to pull linemen, create some angles. Right now, Kentucky's been able to control the ground game and still play with 2 deep safeties out of the box.
Gleason gets out of there. Flags are on the field. It is a first down for now. Past the 40 to the 42. Terrell Crosby on the catch.
Stephen Souls was helmetless. Those usually don't pop off on their own.
Personal foul, hands in the face, offense, number 74. Half the distance to the goal, still 3rd down.
That's a right tackle, Cole Rett.
Just hands got a little bit high, and they get up, see it right there. See Souls coming around, nice rush by Souls. Usually, when you're getting edged as an offensive tackle, you don't have time to replace your hands. Wherever they are is where they got to stay. You're just trying to hang on for dear life and hope your quarterback steps up. That time, Rhett gave the solid face massage to Souls, cost his team.
3rd and Hodgenville. Gleason across the middle, caught by the big tight end, but well short of the first down. Jacob Peterson makes the catch. Toledo will have to punt.
Taylor, right now, the Kentucky defensive front, we're talking about energized physicality, you're seeing a couple of snaps, even on this possession, where they were able to play with 5 defenders, tackle to tackle, in the box, and control this ground game. Right now, the line of scrimmage has been advantage Kentucky.
Emilio Duran punts for Toledo. Ty Bryant standing at his 25. He has to run up for this one. Can't get to it. Takes a Kentucky bounce. And the Cats will have pretty good field position after only a 32-yard punt. Kentucky 7, Toledo nothing.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands.
7-0 Cats. The temperature this morning was 54 degrees.
Yeah, as God intended. This is how football is meant to be played.
Zach Calzada's worn a lot of different uniforms throughout his time in college football. Remember when he beat Bama playing for the Aggies, was injured for Auburn, went to Incarnate Word, and he shined there for 2 years, and now is a Kentucky Wildcat. Talking to him yesterday, he said, I want to play football forever. I just love this game and blessed to have another opportunity. Hands to Seth McGowan. Similar story with Seth, too, as he gets up to the 49-yard line. Calzada, 10 starts for A&M in 2021, threw 17 touchdowns that year. Didn't play for Auburn, injured his shoulder in 22, and then those 2 years at Incarnate Word, where he had terrific numbers. Loved his time in Texas. On 2nd and 4, McGowan gets to midfield. It'll be 3rd and 2. Again, the thing that Bush Hamden, the offensive coordinator, Mark Stoops, the head coach, kept saying about Calzada, we know he can make every throw, but we don't need him to. Just operate the offense, don't make mistakes, be the more physical team.
I think that's the part that they want to make sure he understands. That's the question mark. Don't get too aggressive. You see Toledo loading up. You see both linebackers walked up in the inside. Can Kentucky get push if they get a downhill run call here?
On 3rd and 3, Calzada off his back foot, picked off. At the 46-yard line, Nasir Bowers.
I don't know if there was a miscommunication there on this play. It's like the receiver just stopped on the route. Calzada, you see, it just stands up. Now he's throwing off his back foot. Gets hit. That ball got tipped a little bit as he released it.
Anthony Dunn.
And that ball just wobbles out. Bowers able to get underneath it. The receiver, Troy Stellato, was not coming out of that break with any sense of urgency. It's almost like he had no expectation of seeing the football there. Big play for the Rockets.
Take over, Matt, at their own 46-yard line. Unable to do anything on their first 2 possessions. It is Trainum behind Gleason on this first down. And Chip will try the left side. And gets tripped up in the back end there after only a couple of yards. Good tackle by Afari. How quickly will Jason Campbell's offense operate today?
Well, we've seen it. They've been relatively methodical, partly because they only had 2 plays in that very first offensive possession, and they were backed up. And here they are near midfield, and still, typically an offense can move very quickly. You haven't seen that yet.
2nd and 8. Hit as he throws is Gleason. It's incomplete. Jaden Smith, the one that applied the pressure there. Redshirt freshman from Charlotte forces a 3rd and long.
RPO, he was just reading this, and he definitely pulls it back. Is this arm definitely moving forward? It did look as if he still had the ball in his hand. What they look for is he throwing an empty hand? There's nothing in there. The replay certainly had to look at it. It looked to me like he still possessed the football.
On 3rd and 8, he tries the near side, and it's a first down throw to Junior Vanderost III. Big play receiver last year that caught 85 balls, and that's his first one of 2025.
That's the go-to guy. That's the known commodity in this Toledo offense, in their passing game, is Vanderost. Defensive coordinator Brad White, he had his attention. That's for sure. A big conversion to preserve this scoring opportunity off the turnover.
14-yard reception for Vanderost and a first down for Toledo at Kentucky's 37. Gleason off his back foot throws too high. Again was facing pressure there to Ryan Nichols. in the backfield.
And it's something that Kentucky loves to do. They'll bring that corner pressure, and they bring it from the boundary. Short side of the field, it's easy to sneak a guy in there. So unaccounted for in the blocking scheme, Gleason feels it wide open. That pressure is the reason why that's not a big gainer, if not a touchdown, to Vander Ross over the middle.
Toledo has 1 rushing yard with a minute and a half to go in the first quarter. And Trainum finally gets loose. First down, Toledo.
Nice job by Chip Trainum, bouncing this run outside. Nowhere to go on the inside. Kentucky conceding numbers in the box, meaning you're outnumbered. There are more blockers than you have defenders. Can you block us? That time Trainum had to bounce that run out to the perimeter. Great job of making the first would-be tackler miss.
He's a significant contributor for Arizona State and for Ohio State, and the Cats thought they were going to get that last year. Just 19 carries on the year in Lexington. 12 yards for him there.
As you see here, able to substitute. And Kentucky was not dragging. You can see it was a late substitution by Toledo. And so the center judge.
Toledo, their first of the half.
And center judge went in over there and said, look, you got to give the defense time to sub. And they were running out of play clock.
Hey, reminder, our stellar SEC football lineup rolls on today at 4:15 Eastern. Arkansas hosts Alabama A&M. And we cap the night with number 21 Ole Miss hosting Georgia State. 18th ranked Oklahoma, 15th ranked Florida, and Vanderbilt will stream on SEC Network Plus and the all-new ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Tennessee looking good already in Atlanta, up 24-7 on Syracuse. Texas trailing Ohio State 7-0 in Columbus, and Mississippi State and Southern Miss are tied in Hattiesburg in the second quarter.
Southern Miss. Well, Kentucky fans will remember that team from the opener last year. That was a slog fest. A rain-soaked opener for the Wildcats versus Southern Miss a season ago.
Fresh set of downs for Toledo. And Trainum again. And bulldozes his way down to the 20, where Afari makes another tackle.
This is certainly, obviously helps any offense, but this is what Toledo wanted to be able to do better. Get that ground game going. They are counting on Chip Trainum to help kind of spark what is typically a very substantial rushing attack.
They don't have to run another play if they don't want to. Quarter could expire before the play clock will. But they do. And Trainum is patient, and he gives Toledo another first down. As we start the second quarter, college football is back in Lexington. Cats 7, Rockets nothing.
Coach, what do you need to see to punch this one in here?
Well, we got to settle down. I mean, we got a turnover. We got a couple of missed things on defense there. I mean, we just got to settle down and play. It's a long football game.
Is that what you've been telling Tucker since the game started?
Well, that first interception, the receiver's on the ground. So, I mean, obviously we got to take care of the ball, but that shouldn't deter his confidence. We're going to keep rolling.
Thanks, Coach.
His team struggled in the red zone last year, 121st best in college football, and Kentucky was in the top 6 in the country in red zone defense. We'll start the second quarter. Connor Wallensack slips near the 10.
You can see that they like what they've got going in their zone run scheme. So all they're doing is everybody's just stepping the same direction. They're asking the running backs to be patient and pick a hole. That time Wallensack had a place to put up. Turf just got him as he went upfield.
Wallensack again, straight ahead this time. And the pile moves to the 6. Third down, Toledo.
Yeah, part of the issue in the red zone for Toledo a season ago is just a condensed part of the field. They ran the football so poorly a season ago, it made it very difficult to get points coming away.
Lexington gets loud on the 11th play of this Toledo drive. Gleason quarterback run, 3rd and 4. It'll be 4th down. Stopped at the 4 by Josiah Hayes.
Kentucky were in that 4-down look, 4 defensive linemen. They just didn't get that far upfield. Wasn't as much running room as you'd anticipate. You see a big sub.
I don't see a kicker coming on the field.
No, they're bringing in bigger bodies. Toledo just subbed in, tight end. They might have to burn a timeout here, guys. They just changed out the personnel, but I don't think they got the call.
Coach Candle and Tucker Gleason get to talk about it. We're back with 4th down next.
The College Football Playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the National Championship January 19th on ESPN.
It starts in Lexington, Kentucky, and Toledo has a 4th down, 2 yards to go from the Wildcats' 4-yard line. Coach Candle had a chance to think about it and kept his offense on the field.
So here's Vander Ross off the line so he can get an easy release. The problem is he's only 5'8". Not an easy target in the red zone.
Gleason would train him in front. No! Kentucky holds. Alex Afari again.
Great job by the Kentucky defense, bowing its neck. Great job of stringing this play out on the edge. Read it right away. Great job by Afari, just closing downhill. It didn't matter. There were others. Jarquish Hardaway as well. That's the 6th tackle for Afari.
An accidental football player, born in Italy, moved to Ghana, and then moved to the United States when he was 8 and said to his friends he wanted to play football here in the States. He meant soccer. So they took him to play football. And the rest is history.
Semantics.
Really enjoyed meeting with him yesterday. Melissa and I, as Calzada stands in his own end zone and still has the ball, and that's a safety. Langston Long gets him for 2.
We talked about the decision making. Okay, so Langston Long is coming, he's unblocked. And the challenge here is you're in your coming out offense. So you know that Toledo's sitting there, they're going to load up. You're just trying to get yourself room to operate. See 20, he's shooting up in there. Calzada is assuming, right, that he's going to try to tackle that runner, the running back. So I'm going to pull it and get out on the edge. Didn't happen. You think it's a dangerous, in some ways, a dangerous call there because you're asking for that read. It's a bad read.
Great discipline by Long, the junior from Woodbridge, Virginia, to make that tackle. And the new score is 7-2, and Toledo gets the ball back.
That's probably what Eric Wolford, the offensive line coach right there, is saying is that, hey, look, you know, in that situation, just put it in the belly of the back. Let him, he can try to muscle his way downhill. But part of what that pull read is that you're starting from a standstill. A great play, but it's just a challenge. Just hand it off to that running back. Try to pick up a yard or 2 and get yourself some breathing room.
Trayvon Rudolph and Bryson Hammer will wait on this kick by Kentucky. Aiden LaRosse has to kick from his own 20-yard line. So Toledo doesn't convert a 4th down, but immediately gets 2 points on the next play and now gets the football back.
You think about Kentucky too, right? So back-to-back costly offensive possessions. The interception that led to being backed up didn't lead to points directly. Your offense takes the field again only to give up a safety.
That is Rudolph at the 10. Toledo will get it at the 23-yard line. How about Kentucky's defense so far today?
They've been really good. I mean, you think about the way they've been able to control the run. There have been a few that have been able to bounce outside, squeak out some yardage in the ground game. But largely, this Kentucky defense, that's been the story of the game so far. Great job finding ways to turn Toledo away on the heels of what would otherwise be short fields.
Brad White is the defensive coordinator in his 7th season in Lexington as the defensive coordinator. He's been here even longer than that. Kenji Christian standing next to Gleason here on this 1st down. And to Christian across the middle. Kenji near the 30. It's a pickup of 7.
the question we were talking with the defense, not just along the defensive front, linebacker position as well, as you see Toledo now really for the first time going quick.
Out of sorts. Yeah.
False start. Offense. Multiple linemen. 5-yard penalty. Late second down.
Both coaches this week and on the field stressed how difficult it is to play a week 1 football game in 2025 when you have all these new faces that transfer in, and here's a case in point.
Yeah, well, the center's just late with the snap. You know, everybody else isn't wrong. When you got 10 guys moving and one guy not, sometimes the center is the one that's wrong.
Gleason on a low snap, fields it cleanly, chunks it down the field. Over the hands of his intended target there, Christian, who was covered up.
You think about the negative yardage plays, really have hurt Toledo. With the hands to the face earlier, backs them up. They continue to find ways to go backwards. Real challenge. And then you get these third downs where you're asking your offensive front to try to hold up. So far, Kentucky, they've done a good job of being able to collapse the pocket, affect the passer and Gleason without having to bring pressure, not having to blitz a 5th rusher.
Toledo's 1 for 3 on 3rd down today. They hold on to the ball, but now they're 1 for 4. Steven Souls had the original hit on the quarterback there. Gleason able to cover the football, and Toledo will punt it away.
Brad White was excited about what he might have in a pass rusher in Steven Souls. Watch him edge, Rhett, and get that right arm up. Play the ball. You don't have to sack the quarterback. Get the ball out of his hands. Great job by Steven Souls. Excellent awareness. You can see that get off. First step quickness that he has. They talked about affecting Tucker Gleason as a passer. That has certainly been the case so far.
Duran in his own end zone. Fielded by Bryant at midfield. Trouble fielding it, and it's recovered by Kentucky.
Wow, that was near calamitous. I wonder, I think he just lost track of where the football is. You could see the gunner kind of waving his arm.
Thomas that recovered it.
Kentucky fortunate to retain that possession. Bit of an adventure in the special teams.
Good field position for Kentucky at their own 47-yard line. Calzada making his debut for the Wildcats in year number 7. Did score Kentucky's lone touchdown in the first quarter. Moves the pocket to the right, now back to the left, and gets a couple of yards. Chris Apollonia ran with him the entire time.
Trying to get him a simple read, simple completion, just nothing there. Sprint out, just trying to move that pocket nice and clean, make sure he wouldn't have a ton of pressure. Nowhere to go with the football. You think about that decision, got hit as he threw, interception, then the safety. Got to do something to kind of settle your quarterback down.
On 2nd and 7, over the middle, good ball, first down, inside the 30. Ball on the ground, though, and Toledo's recovered it. Rodriguez had it, but it was stripped away, and Toledo gets the turnover. Emmanuel McNeil Warren has the football in his hands.
Had the big gainer, got the target that they wanted. We talked about Rodriguez and the juice that he brings as a receiver. Well-placed ball, catch and run. Where's the ball security? Week 1, great job by McNeil Warren coming in there. Not only does he strip this football out, watch him, he punches it out and then makes the recovery. Rockets defense stepping up big now. Safety, 2 takeaways, the last 3 possessions for the Kentucky offense.
You can see why McNeil Warren is on the watch list for the Senior Bowl down in Mobile, Alabama, as Toledo takes over at their own 27. Gleason underneath, incomplete. Too wide for Crosby.
We're seeing if they could maybe get a shot. Heavy play action, pull a guard, see if you can get that Kentucky secondary playing downhill, nothing doing. See if you could try to capture that momentum, because as good as the Rockets defense has been, so too has been their Kentucky defensive counterparts. Very difficult to move the football for the Rockets here in the first half.
On second down, Trainum up near the 30. No Stinch, we expected in week 1 for teams across the country to be a bit sloppy and play football, in Kentucky's case, in 9 months, and a lot of other teams like Toledo in 8 months. Sure, you get a couple scrimmages against yourself in August, but when it gets real for the first time, there are going to be errors early in the game.
Yeah, and the other part too is even though it may have been more recent for others, these are new teams. So many new faces having to chill and gain experience.
Another third down for Toledo. They're 1 for 4. Gleason trying to bubble, gets it to Trainum, gets loose and gets Toledo the first down.
But there's a couple of things you can do to try to slow down the pass rush or take advantage of what is otherwise a defense that's getting consistent pressure like Kentucky is. The screen game may be the most dangerous.
13-yard pickup. Now Gleason will carry it himself and take on Kentucky defenders up to the 47.
That time, Toledo, we talk about the tempo as you see Gleason kind of trying to shake off that hit he just took. See if they could catch Kentucky sleeping. They were empty in the backfield and jumped the football. See if they could get the Wildcats defense without their cleats in the ground.
Gleason will slow it down and come up to the line here on the 2nd and 6. It's Kenji Christian to his left. Christian tried to get the corner but couldn't. Tackled at the 49 by Quashid Scott.
Great job by the defense, bottling him up on the edge. Quincy Scott Christian trying to get out there. The challenge we'll see here is, once again, you saw a second ago, the screen game popping up. The difficulty has been the Wildcat front 4. When they've got just 4, they've been able to get to the passer. You see a heavy formation, tight end and an H. 2 tight ends moving to that other side. See if they're a part of the protection scheme.
Trainum right at the marker. The 47. Let's see if he got it. David Rayner makes the tackle.
Still getting a heavy horse and downhill run. They did not even hesitate to leave their offense on the field.
It's 4th and inches. Gleason. Wait a minute. Timeout, Kentucky. There are flags on the field, but I believe Kentucky called timeout first.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Kentucky. Their first of the half. There is no foul.
Toledo when we come back. slate coming up on Sunday. SEC Network Volleyball, Vandy versus Illinois at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. It's tomorrow at 6 Eastern. It's also available on the all-new ESPN app. 4th down for Toledo. Just past midfield, just inside the 48-yard line of Kentucky. They need to get it to the Wildcats 47 to move the chains.
They already got the run on the 3rd down, 3+. They're able to dent the front. You see them in an I formation. Let's see if I can draw your attention. See this guy right here? That's called a fullback. You don't see those in football anymore. See if they hand it off downhill to pick up this 1st down.
They hand to train him. He goes backwards again. Another Kentucky stand.
Also watch. And they're going to try to attack to the right side of this offensive front. Watch, your fullback's going to head over there. Trainham ends up a little bit wider. You see it tuck up underneath there. Instead, really, they get tackled by his own fullback. Great job by Kentucky. What they're really trying to do is just dent that edge. Pull your play side guard. Lead up in there with your fullback. Kentucky wasn't having it. We talked about it. This game, the line of scrimmage largely has been controlled by the Kentucky defensive front. No better indication that 4th and 1 stop.
Calzada hands off. And inside the 45 goes Dante Dowdell down to the 43.
This is a good answer for Kentucky. You find a way to settle down. You got a big explosive in the passing game. Yet another turnover. Bunch of empty possessions. Can you get the ground game going? Early on, it seemed like they were intent on establishing that. See if they get back to it here.
On 2nd and 3, plenty of time. Deep ball, Calzada tried to get it to Kendrick Law, but it was thrown over his head. Nasir Bowers was running with Kendrick. Haven't seen Law really do anything yet, Stinch. There was a chance.
It's been a quiet afternoon for number 1. Fans are saying a little bit tangled up. I don't know if he could have run underneath that one, even with Law's speed. There's a lot of hand fighting that's gone on at the top of these routes. Taylor, they've allowed it going both ways, so there's been some consistency.
On this 3rd and 3, Dowdell right at the marker at the 40-yard line.
Another nice push, right side of that Kentucky front. Wave the chains forward. Just get downhill. Dowdell, we talked about it. Get McGowan inserted in that running back room. Dowdell, the coach just said, look, we just needed to upgrade that talent. We need to be better at running back so that we run the football better. It wasn't just the offensive front the season ago.
Calzada to McGowan. And Seth's inside the 35 down to the 34. 6-yard gain.
Talk about the size of some of these guys up front. Also the athleticism. Able to pull some linemen. Get your center out in front. Kind of fitting. This is the alma mater of Dermontti Dawson. Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame center for the Steelers. Get those guys out in front. Move that point of attack.
Certainly did it there, as it's now 2nd and 4. And McGowan straight ahead gets almost to the 1st down. It'll be 3rd and short. I realize that these guys have not played a ton of football together, Matt, but they're the 3rd most experienced offensive line in number of starts in the entire country. They haven't started together. They've started for other programs. They bring a ton of experience to Kentucky for Mark Stoops to play offensive line. And as we said in the open of the show, he wants energetic physicality again with execution. See if they can execute this 3rd and 1. Calzada puts his head forward, and that should be good enough.
Well, talking with both Coach Stoops and offensive coordinator Bush Hamden, and they described them as they're professional. These guys have approached it very maturely. Well, some of them are the age of professionals. They've been doing this a long time. But it's the reliability. That was the term we kept hearing over and over again. It's reliable. Not just the offensive front, but also some of the new skill guys. That's a key component. Can they trust him to do what they need him to do?
Hold on to the football as long as they can here. Calzada pumps, flushed out, and now out of bounds near the line of scrimmage. Andre Fuller there to push him out.
See, Calzada's kind of trying to direct traffic, and you see a lot of times when plays break down, scramble drill, that's when you learn a little bit about the chemistry, the trust factor, quarterbacks and receivers. Do they understand and have a feel for where they need to be when their quarterback is under duress? That time Calzada lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Valdell to the 27. It'll be 3rd and 7 for Kentucky from there. Jacob Coway won the kicking competition in August. Of course, we saw Zach Schreiner do a lot of that in the past in college. Aiden Ross has kicked some too, but you can see how long, big of a leg Coway has if in fact Kentucky has to kick a field goal. It would be a 45-yarder from here, but Kentucky's thinking about a 1st down. On a little bubble screen, Gilmore can't get loose. It'll be 4th down.
They're trying to get the left tackle, Pete, out in front. Just didn't get there in time. It was not going to be a very positive play regardless. Toledo defense all over that one. Pete out there just didn't get there in time. Many of the Rocket defenders having diagnosed got out wide quickly.
And here is a 45-yard attempt for the man from Billings, Montana. Just snuck it in there, 1 for 1 in his collegiate career. 2:04 to go here in the first half in Lexington. Mark Stoops' team looking for a Week 1 win. They're up 10-2 on opening day.
What up, y'all? Coming up on the Farm Bridge Halftime Report, we'll show you a breakdown between Texas and Ohio State. Joey Swagular out there for Tennessee. That's so bad. I'm looking forward to it. And I took all of your guys.
You stole it, yeah.
That's all right. All right.
Hey, guys.
Talk to me these guys.
Keep watching.
Burns' first attempt at a new nickname for Joey Aguilar, the
swing and a miss.
the Tennessee quarterback. Ball's looking good, though. 10-2. Kentucky and Toledo will have it at their own 25-yard line. Rockets have had chances, though, and the only points on the board are a safety. Our offense has moved it deep into Kentucky territory and did not come away with any points. One of the big stats of the game, Toledo 0 for 2 on 4th down today.
Yeah, and they've been aggressive in that regard. One of them made total sense, right, in the scoring position, just couldn't get it done. That last 4th down, great job by the Kentucky defense. Really, the Kentucky offense, they haven't been afforded great field position. They have really struggled in this football game.
2:04 left, swinging out to the near side to Rudolph, and Rudolph is out of bounds with 1:59 to go. The under 2-minute timeout back in just a moment.
Welcome back to Lexington, Kentucky. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Kentucky's defense, typically the strong suit of this team. It looks to be the case so far today. Just a great day early, an early takeaway in this game. A couple of big stops on 4th down. Brad White and his coaching staff very happy on the sidelines after that last possession, the last time they were out on the field with the performance so far. Coach Stoops says they want to be a feared defense in the SEC, and that means having a nasty rush, emphasizing that to that D-line.
Junior Vandeross unable to make that grab. That was the biggest play of Toledo's first half, was the catch that Vandeross made earlier. Toledo especially has had trouble on 3rd and 4th down today. Had trouble protecting their quarterback there.
Yeah, they had a nice little twist stunt at the top of the screen there. Great job getting home by Cam Olds. They're getting there right as Gleason is trying to deliver the football. Just has not had a consistently clean pocket all afternoon.
3rd and 6 now for Gleason. Wide open receiver, 1st down, Rockets past the 40. That's Vandeross.
Nice route concept to get Vandeross out there clean. Ends up kind of picking inside defender, rolling down from the safety spot. Standing there wide open, easy completion for the Rockets.
14-yard completion at that. Gleason, plenty of time, throws off his back foot. And that is incomplete.
2nd and 10 at the 43.
Let's toss it down to Alyssa.
We were just talking about that rush and figuring out what that looks like for Kentucky, a guy that they have high hopes for. Mikey Grace, I'm told, has just gone to the locker room dealing with an ankle injury. He's being evaluated, questionable to return.
10-2. Just a reminder, Toledo gets the ball first in the second half, too, so some points here, and then you get it right back. Gleason, nothing open, throws complete underneath to Trayvon Rudolph. It'll be 3rd down for the Rockets. Clock continuing to run.
Rockets just with the one timeout. They had to burn the one because of a late substitution earlier and then thinking over a 4th down.
Gleason goes down. Stephen Souls Jr. got him again.
Both edges end up getting home. This has been the story all afternoon. The Rockets were in obvious passing down. They really struggled to hold up in protection. So watch, both of these edges right here are going to win upfield. Flushing Gleason. Souls wins inside. Smith got there first and forced Gleason to kind of step up. Souls was there to clean him up. Ball came out right there. Gleason able to get back on it.
And Mark Stoops wisely calling the timeout there. He only has 1 left now, but 1:15 to go in the half. Try to get yourself in field goal position and tack on 3 more before the break.
Just mentioned it earlier, Taylor, right? So Toledo gets the ball to open the second half. And because this was such a quick possession, when they talk about that middle quarter, the end of the second, beginning of the third, what Mark Stoops is trying to do is try to inject a little bit of offensive opportunity. His defense did its job once again. Rockets didn't really eat much clock. It's not just trying to score or move the football, but burn clock so that your opponent doesn't have time to work. With that timeout, Kentucky able to preserve plenty of clock now to try to operate. We have not seen them, the Kentucky offense, in an up-tempo or urgent mode yet. It will certainly need to be here with just the one timeout remaining.
Duran punting. Bryant fields it at the 24. And he is down right there. Coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the Wildcat Marching Band on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. One of the great things about college football are those people right there. And the pageantry that they bring to our sport. You knew it'd be, not just here, you knew it'd be sloppy just about everywhere. And I know Peter and Chris will talk about this coming up at halftime. And Texas and Ohio State, it's 7-0 in that game in the second half right now. And both of those teams barely have over 100 yards of offense. Neither of these teams in front of us have 100 yards of offense.
It's kind of a slop fest so far here today. May also be true over in the horseshoe as well. Haven't seen a lot of downfield. You think about Willie Rodriguez.
Calzada has time to do that and does launch, but well over his double-covered receiver, Hartley Gilmore.
Really the most successful play ended up being ruled incomplete. The other to Rodriguez ended up resulting in a fumble. downfield passing game has just not been able to get going. Now, it's not necessarily a point of emphasis. It's one of the things that they said coming into this game, when we run the football. But now, in this instance, passing game needs to emerge with just 1 minute left to play and a timeout in your back pocket. They have not really established the passing game.
Sideline ball caught by Ferrier, and he's inbounds. Clock will continue to run.
And Ferrier, when he spins inside, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to pick up yards. You also want him to be on that boundary, though. Getting tackled inbounds.
By McNeil Warren. Good job by him to keep this clock moving. Under 35 seconds to go. Calzada almost stepped into trouble and throws, and McGowan can't make the catch. Incomplete. Now it's 4th down.
You see really nowhere to go. Great job by the Rockets secondary. They've got some good players in that back end. You know, that's where, coming into this game, Toledo was like, look, they don't see ground in that regard. Good job holding up on that offensive series. Both offenses so far incapable of taking advantage of opportunities here with time on the clock.
Ross again out there. This is his 2nd punt. Bryson Hammer waiting back at the 28-yard line. Great punt for Ross. Hammer drifts back all the way to his 15. And he's tackled at the 18-yard line with exactly 18 seconds remaining. It's a 54-yard punt by LaRosse. Both teams went away from campus this summer. This is Kentucky's trip that we're looking at, their summer retreat in Baghdad, Kentucky at Cedar Moore Camp. Toledo went to Mount Union to have their own little retreat, and both head coaches talked about how vital that is when you're building a roster filled with fresh faces. There's a penalty at the end of the play there.
So many new faces after the holding penalties enforced, where you got to get to know each other. And there's just not enough time. And you hear the term speed dating thrown around a lot. When these guys show up, you don't really know what you have. It's hard to know who they are, what they're about, much less what they look like in a pressure situation. So it makes sense for these teams to be much more intentional to build those relationships. And Coach Candle made a good point. He's like, look, we got to start this season off with a bus trip. Let's go on ahead and get off campus and see what it feels like to be away from campus.
Inside their own 10, Trainum on what could be the last play of the half gets up to the 9-yard line. Toledo has not done much offensively, but it's a one-possession game, and they get the ball to start the second half.
More of a defensive struggle, really, when you think about it. There's a Kentucky scoring opportunities, both set up by the defensive side of the ball, the Wildcats.
Mark Stoops, of course, is a defensive-minded head coach. And he is walking right now to Alyssa Lang.
Coach, seen some frustration on the face of your offense on the sideline. What will you say to them at halftime?
Oh, we got to settle down. We're our own worst enemy. You know, the safety was a bad decision, and the fumble, obviously. We're in great field position. We got things going. First game, everybody wants to make a lot of things happen, and we're making some mistakes, but we just got to settle in and play.
On the other side, how would you evaluate the intensity your defense is playing with?
Defense is playing well. We had one critical third down in a critical moment. We didn't execute very clean. Got outflanked in a simple play, and outside of that, we're doing some good things.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's send things back into the studio for a recap on this half and a look around the rest of the SEC. Peter Burns, take it away.
Thank you, Alyssa Lang. Welcome to the Farm Rich Halftime Report. Let's get right into it. Over in Columbus, Texas and Ohio State. First drive for Arch Manning, 3rd and 8. Manning flushed out of the pocket. Finds C.J. Baxter, but that's kind of been the conservative play so far.
Look at what we're coming with. These are the highlights from the first half. You could tell it was a defensive struggle.
4th and 2. Aggressive play call on The Buckeyes side of the field did not work out for them. Second quarter, 3rd and goal for Ohio State. C.J. Donaldson, Benjamin Watson gets it done.
Yeah, down here in goal line defense, you like to see the guys stop big guys up front. We knew that this Texas defensive line was going to be a strength for them.
Then Ohio State going for it. 4th and goal. They end up getting it done. Buckeyes up a touchdown. Now, next drive, 3rd and 10. Manning trying to get something done. He ends up getting sacked. It did not go well for Manning Mania in the first half. But Texas had an opportunity. It was 1st and goal.
It was a good drive. I mean, 15 plays, 70 yards, got down inside of the 5-yard line and just couldn't punch it in. But you saw them use Manning's legs a little bit more there. Some of the read option stuff. Got him outside the pocket. He scrambled well. So you're starting to see a little rhythm for them.
Then another game right now. Joey Aguilar taking over for Nico Iamaleava. And, well, we know what Josh Heupel likes to do. He likes to run the ball, gentlemen.
Run the football and a lot of phicality there on that touchdown. Tennessee jumps up to a 17-0 lead.
Then after a Tennessee fumble, Steve Angeli sacked by Nathan Robinson.
Defense.
To the house, scoop and score.
What have we shown so far, B-Dub? Running, which they ran for over 150 yards, and defense. That's who Josh Heupel's Vols teams are these days.
Nice quick 17-0 start for the Vols. Known for their fast starts, but Mason Willis, 2-yard touchdown. Orange get on the board, 17-7.
You know what you'll notice, P-Dub? Guys, twice I said that. PB, every time the Syracuse Orange score, Tennessee comes right back and answers. Every time they try to gain a little momentum, it's the big plays from Tennessee. And I think that's one of the best characteristics you can have as a team.
73-yard touchdown to Braylon Staley. Back to a 10-point game, under 30 seconds to go. 31-14. Vols looking good, up 17 at half. That is B-Dub, Benjamin Watson. That is CD, Christopher Doring. My name right there, Peter Burns.
Struggling with it. Never met you before.
11 years. That's the reason why you're my best friend.
Don't y'all have like a whole show every day together?
We don't like each other. We'll see how long that lasts. 10-2. If I told Kentucky fans right now, listen, you're going to hold Toledo to 96 yards, you'd probably be happy. On the flip side of it, probably not happy offensively. Benjamin, what do you think of that first half?
Well, it's been a bit of a struggle. It's been a bit of a struggle, and I think the kind of 2 major points there. Calzada with that safety, that was a poor decision, taking the safety, but then also throwing the interception. And so I think for Kentucky, again, I thought coming into this football game, it would be a highly contested first half. I think in the second half, you're going to see them start to pull away a little bit more, to keep committing themselves to the run. But kind of an up and down first half, I think, for this Kentucky offense. The defense, however, with signs of Maxwell Harrison with that interception, I think they've been carrying this team in the first half.
Yeah, and Coach Stube talked about it. They're their worst enemies right now. But I do like the touchdown that they got was set up by a defensive takeaway, complimentary football. So I'm with you. Stop shooting yourself in the foot. The ball security, putting the ball on the ground twice, losing one of those, throwing the interception. They've got to do a better job of cleaning things up offensively and gaining rhythm of their own.
We talked so much earlier about Calzada, of course, been around college football for a while, but then Toledo was a team really that was bringing back everybody. Benjamin, is this a situation when, all right, you finally got a half underneath your belt, everybody's settled down, now we start seeing a little bit of a different version of the Wildcats, or are we in for a fist fight there in Lexington for the entire game?
I think it's going to be a fight, and for many of the reasons that we talked about, the fact that Toledo had this continuity, they came out firing on all cylinders. Even in the pregame presser with Coach, he talked about the fact that I'm just seeing these guys play for the first time in live action, and so you still see some of that, although I will say this, for a quarterback with the experience that Calzada has, you would expect him not to make some of these mistakes that he's made in this first half.
We'll talk about the second half and some adjustments coming up a little bit later. Going back to Texas and Ohio State, surprised with the game that we're seeing?
Not really. I mean, I think we all kind of thought there was going to be a defensive battle. The strength of Texas's squad is their defense. They've had their way at times creating pressure on Julian Sayin, but that offensive line for Texas has also had some struggle with Ohio State's front, particularly down there at the goal line. This is a brand new defensive front for the Buckeyes, and they've done a nice job of being competitive at the line of scrimmage. Here is that play, right? And we talked about the alignment.
Right?
The splits were a little off. They hurried trying to catch him out of position.
What is that?
Watch the penetration right up the middle there. Never a chance for Arch to even get any sort of momentum going forward.
It's one of those things where you think you just line up and it's an automatic. You're on the 2-inch yard line, but if your offensive line doesn't have tight splits and they don't get a push on the defensive line, and then you saw Arch Manning try to kind of go over the top, it's just not something that they probably practiced a lot with him. And
certainly not live.
Exactly. So that takes time. But this offense, I mean, only 79 or so yards in the first half. They're settling too. We're seeing in this week one, even with the Kentucky game, with this game, you're seeing two offenses, two quarterbacks that just haven't worked with the other players. And so there's some of that is going to resolve itself, I think, in the second half.
It was fairly atrocious red zone or goal line situation calls last year that cost the Texas in that game against Ohio State and early.
You just called for the tush push.
Yeah, but I didn't like the way that they set it up. Like, just go look at the alignment on there and the fact that they do, what is it, the sugar huddle where they do the huddle and they all of a sudden run up. Seems like it's wild.
It's just not automatic.
You know what?
I think it should be, but it's not.
You go for it there because you depend on your defense to get a stop. They did get the ball back,
correct.
So it's some good field position that Texas has now.
And Arch Manning has just thrown an interception as well, as we got an opportunity to see that. So we'll get you highlights of that one. For Tennessee, things have gone well, 31-14. And CD, these are the numbers you pulled. Why?
Yeah, because you've seen some explosive passing plays down the field today. And when Hendon Hooker was running this offense, look how efficient they were of air throws of over 30 yards or more. 25 completions for over 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. It took 75 attempts for Milton and Nico Iamaleava to even, complete 21 balls. Not all on the quarterbacks the last couple of years. The receivers have been bad on some of those deep balls, but the rhythm today, that's what's impressed me the most. Here's one of those shots that we showed a little earlier. Perfect throw against quarters coverage. We talk about the advantage that the receiver has on the inside with the corner on the outside. No safety help there. Look at the throw. We've seen this a ton of times, and Tennessee has not hit it as smoothly as it did there.
31-14. Tennessee just got a turnover as well. Vols are looking good. We had one touchdown in the first half. Zach Calzada scoring TDs once again. 10-2 baseball score in Lexington.
This halftime report is presented by Farm Ridge, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Now we're cooking.
Welcome back to the Farm Ridge Halftime Report. Mississippi State opening up the season over in Hattiesburg. First drive for the Bulldogs. Blake Shapen. B-Dubs, we're going deep.
Hey, man, the tight end up the seam. The big guy from the UK, Traore, with a touchdown. He's already matched his touchdowns from last year with that touchdown.
Bulldogs up 7-0 early, 3rd and goal for Southern Miss earlier in that game. Got them a touchdown, but then Mississippi State fluff Bothwell. I love fluff. Who doesn't love fluff?
Say that 5 times.
Fluff Bothwell, Fluff Bothwell, Fluff Bothwell, Fluff Bothwell, Fluff Bothwell. Gunnar Stockton, QB number 1, and he's got a cool, I think, truck commercial down there in Athens.
So Georgia.
Yes, very Georgia. Is there an hour away till kickoff over on ESPN? We'll see what him and Mike Bobo have cooked up for the Herd. And, of course, Ty Simpson. What are you looking forward to him against your favorite team, Florida State?
Manage the offense, man. You got such talented receivers around you. You don't have to do anything more than execute, make good decisions, throw with accuracy, and don't put your team in a bad position. That defense is going to be good for Alabama. They don't need any short field opportunities for the Noles.
Remember, no Jim Miller in that game. We see Ryan. I'm sorry,
Ryan Williams.
Ryan Williams. Geez,
just throw the ball to Ryan Williams.
That's all you need to do.
Or Jeremy Bernard, or Isaiah Horton.
Or all of those guys. We're an hour and 15 minutes routine kickoff between the Tide and Florida State. And honestly, the weather looks a little bit better than we thought. We thought we might get some torrential downpour down there. It's been torrential, great defense for the Wildcats. 10-2, Kentucky up over the Rockets.
First, you'll need the ESPN app on your connected TV or favorite device. If you have it, open it up. If you don't, download it now. Next, click on the live event or ESPN show you want to watch. Then choose your TV provider and log in. You're all set. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. Go to support.espn.com to learn more.
Back with a studio update. Arch Manning said, all right, let's get a little bit more aggressive. Sark, number 15, back to pass. Well, it's completed, just to the wrong color jersey.
Horrible.
Not great, Bob. Not great at all. 7-0, still Ohio State. Better for this version of UT.
Look at the poise. Look at the back uncover, though. Great hands catch by Star Thomas.
Tennessee a thing?
Yeah.
Tennessee's a thing. 38-14. Right now, what's a thing? J.Q. Hardaway, you were talking about him, Vito.
Was one of the departures in Maxwell Harrison. You wonder who was going to fill in for him. J.Q. Hardaway doing his best impression there.
10-2, second half coming up after the break.
This halftime report is presented by Farm Ridge, the official frozen snack of the SEC. Now we're cooking.
Welcome back to SEC Network Football, presented by Allstate. Getting ready for the third quarter here in Lexington, where Kentucky leads Toledo 10-2. This is my friend Matt Stinchcomb. I'm Taylor Zarzer. Alyssa Lang is on the field. I'm required to do football with you. Our eighth
That's right,
year
8 years, pal.
together. If you were to look at this stat sheet, if you like offense, this would not make you very happy right now. But if you're a defensive guy, man, Kentucky on 3rd and 4th down, terrific.
Yeah, no question. Turnovers, you like takeaways, seen a couple of those, even a safety. Defense is scoring in this game. Started early, though. Interception, receiver kind of slipped down for Toledo. Led to a Kentucky touchdown. A great job all day long has the Kentucky defense of collapsing the pocket, able to punch it in. To me, this has been the story of the game, has been the defensive play, both sides of the ball. Safety here on a bad decision by Calzada at quarterback, just handed off. Instead, the Rockets able to get on the board with that safety. But the Kentucky defense has always found a way to get a stop. Even when it seems like the momentum's swinging the other way. A lot of turnovers in this game so far, kind of sloppy on the offensive side of the ball.
So starts at the 25-yard line, toss it down to Alyssa.
Thanks, guys. I just caught up with Toledo head coach Jason Candle. I said, what was the message at halftime? He said it really hasn't changed from the first half. We haven't been able to get into any kind of rhythm offensively, and it's all been because of self-inflicted wounds. I said, is that because it's just week one? It's some week one jitters? And he said, yeah, pretty much. We have to just keep chipping away and get into some kind of rhythm. We'll be okay in this one.
Yeah, let's see if that happens right here in the first drive of the second half. Gleason just 7 of 14 passing for 69 yards in that first frame and struggled to get the ball downfield. First play of the second half's a good one to Vandeross, and that's the guy you would think that Toledo would target. Just 2 catches in the first half. There's his third.
Haven't been able to get it to him very often, partly because the passing game has just been under duress. A lot of harassment by the Kentucky defense. We've been talking about that front. It's not just in the ground game. They've been able to get pressure as well.
Vandeross has caught a pass in 28 straight games, and on 2nd and 3, Kenji Christian starts the second half for Toledo, and he gets 2 yards, so it'll be 3rd and 1 for the Rockets. And again, 3rd and 4th down has been the story. Toledo 3 of 8 on 3rd down, 0 for 2 on 4th.
They've done their best to try to get the ground game going. The difficulty has been getting movement at the point of attack.
Gleason, Anson incomplete, deflected at the line of scrimmage as the pocket was collapsing. And it's a quick 3 and out for Toledo. Khalil Saunders was right near the football there. Let's check this out.
You see, we mentioned it, just 4 rushers once again. And it did look as if Sam Green got a piece of Gleason. See, I think he nicked his elbow. It looked like Sam Green, transfer in from Southern Cal, played a lot of snaps, a guy that they've been counting on. We've seen a lot of these edge defenders emerge in this game, something that the Wildcats had a question coming into it.
Duran, 4th punt. Bryant to take a good Toledo bounce. And it'll be marked down inside the 13 at the 12. 54-yard punt. Rolled about as far as it flew, and Kentucky will take over inside its own 15. What did you think of Zach Calzada in his first half as a Wildcat?
Well, it was choppy, to say the least. I mean, you look at the passing numbers, finished with just 50% on his 12 attempts, 6 completions. They tried to push the ball downfield, not very successfully. You think about the interception, was hit as he threw. The safety decision when they're in their coming out offense, decided to pull it there. So it hasn't had a ton of success, but partly because it's just been a very up and down, kind of a choppy first half, really for both of these offenses.
And neither one of the new backs, Dowdell or McGowan, has been able to turn loose yet. Calzada throwing on the first play, and it's to Dowdell, who gets to the 10. That's a loss of 2 on the play. Kendrick Law, we haven't seen much of him yet today either. They did target Law once in the first half. They thought numbers 1, 2, and 3 would be the primary targets for quarterback Zach Calzada. Here's Law going in motion. Calzada, deep ball. Flags everywhere. Incomplete. Hardly Gilmore had Avery Smith on him. There were flags thrown early in the play and then late as Smith interfered with Gilmore.
I think we're going to get the first one, I believe, was in coverage on Jamori Macklin.
15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Yeah, the picture penalty on that one proved to be one of the more successful passing attempts because it resulted, you see the hold there, balls in the air, easy call. What's one of the penalties in college football where you're like, that's a strategy, you're beaten, so why not just hold them? It only costs you 15 yards instead of it being a spot foul.
Gilmore, who spent the spring semester at Nebraska, is now back at Kentucky. On first down, downhill running for Dowdell. Up to the 32-yard line. It's a pickup of 6.
You see, get a couple of big pullers, pull that right side of the offensive front. With these gap scheme runs, powers and counters, something that Kentucky does their best, really in their ground game. They feel as if they've now got the horses and running back to really put teeth in some of these plays.
Calzada to Caddis. Josh hurdles and gets near midfield. Josh, only 6 catches last year for the Big Cat. He gets 18 here.
The coaches will like this for a lot of reasons. One, great pocket to throw from, but you've got about 7 guys in there protecting, so it should be clean. It's almost max protect, but it's the decision to check it down to Caddis here. Trying to force it downfield when the coverage is there.
Is it required to hurdle now if you're a tight end?
I feel like it should be.
McGowan. Seth gets near the 45. This is one of the best quotes I've ever heard a quarterback say about a teammate. Calzada yesterday said about Seth McGowan, he runs like he's mad at the ground. And he looked mad at it right there.
That's actually a heck of a quality when you think about it. Right? Last thing I want is for you to get down. Just keep running. You stay on your feet the whole time, you're one heck of a running guy. He's definitely taking advantage of it. They mentioned these transfer portal guys, they understand their opportunity.
And McGowan again running angry for a first down to the 39-yard line.
You do. You see him when he runs. It's all kneecaps and elbows. And he's very active as he's getting downhill. Guys bounced around. We mentioned it. He's going to get another opportunity here to contribute at the collegiate level. They'll take advantage of it.
Started at their own 12. Now they're inside the Toledo 40. Calzada launches again to the end zone to Gilmore. Incomplete. He got his hands on it. Neil Warren was down there with him.
How about that? How about this mentality here in the second half? So this time you go max protect again. 8 guys in there effectively to keep your pocket nice and clean. Gilmore had a shot at that one. That time could have reined it in. The ball just finds its way to the turf. Catchable ball that time from Calzada downfield.
Now third down and long for Kentucky. Calzada throws quickly, incomplete. Tried to squeeze it into J.J. Hester. Hester was covered up. Now it's fourth down. That was Kavion Sherman in coverage.
What are we talking about?
Now, excuse me, it's third down now.
And speaking with the coaches pregame, and talked about how even on some of these throws, especially the shorter throws, underneath throws, intermediate routes, they have to get there with such velocity. That time that ball just bounces off of Hester's hands.
So now third and 10.
Gilmore singled up at the bottom of your screen.
Drifting back off his back foot. Incomplete. Trying to get it to Gilmore again. He's been targeted several times. Now it's fourth down.
Great pressure. That time by Avery Dunn. The Rockets defensive front. The right side, Alex Walschlager. It's worked on the spin move, and that forces Calzada further back in the pocket. He has to throw off his back foot as he's falling away. Trying to get it in there to Gilmore, just not enough on the ball.
Kind of no man's land here, Snitch.
Yeah, in a tweener spot.
Toledo 39, so LaRosse comes out to punt. Try to pin the Rockets deep. Mile high in the sky and fielded by Hammer at his 7-yard line. Toledo pinned back deep again.
And the man of the hour, the great Lee Corso.
And you've got one last headgear to make.
This is one of the easiest picks I've ever made. Give me my first love.
And so far, he would be right. Buckeyes shutting out Texas in the fourth quarter. God bless that man. College Game Day presented by Home Depot next week, live from Norman, Oklahoma. Michigan will play the Sooners there, and we will miss Coach Corso. Across the middle, this time it's caught by Eric Holly. And it's Tucker Gleason with a good first down throw. Alyssa, I'll never forget being on the field with you, watching the ESPN app as we watched Coach Corso make that last pick.
Yeah, and the stadium roaring behind him. I feel like I'll have a Coach Corso story. Mine was back in the year 2000. Young Alyssa was a diehard Virginia Tech fan. Watched Coach Corso pick Georgia Tech. Then his car was struck by lightning moments later.
Thursday night game. That's over the head of Gleason's intended target, Jacob Peterson.
Then the next time College Game Day came to Blacksburg, I think it was the very next season, Coach Corso said, I don't know what a Hokie is, but God is one of them. And I had a T-shirt that said that I wore proudly.
That's great. He is just a treasure and will continue to be. We certainly will miss him on College Game Day, but it's great to celebrate him to start the college football season.
No question. They should let him keep that Brutus mascot head, by the way. Surely there's a replica he can hold on to.
There's flags down on the field at the beginning of this one. False start on Toledo there. I recall a South Florida Army game years ago he was at, and he was supposed to pick South Florida, and he had the South Florida mascot's head, and he never gave it back to the mascot, who couldn't wear the head of the South Florida Bull during the game because Coach Corso had the mascot, had the headgear. Beautiful. All right, back on the field here. Gleason loads up and underneath to Trainum, and Trainum's out of bounds. Pushed out there by Landon Watson. Hey, you look across college football right now, I realize that I haven't had a whole lot of offense in this game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me screaming in some bar that you're watching all the games on right now, this is the closest game in the SEC right now.
One possession.
One possession game, third down Toledo. It's 3rd and 9. The Rockets trying to get something going offensively. Cats have been terrific on defense. Gleason throws. It is incomplete. Oh my goodness. 2 different guys had their hands all over it. Eric Holly and C.C. Ezerim, neither could catch it.
And as per usual, Gleason with the pressure breathing down on him, and you could see, 2 different shots at it. Couple of Rockets in the area. Just couldn't come up with it. Picked up where we left off in the second half offensively here in the third quarter. Just exchanging possessions for both offenses.
Duran, another punt. Flags are down. And at the 40 is where Bryant fields it and gets back up near the 45. The flags down where Duran punted from. So let's check on this. Olds almost got it. Jaden Smith was in there too.
Ran right in. Right into the punter at the end while he's still extended. Let's see what's the kicker. See, the ball is clearly away. Just didn't have any idea, I think, where he was relative to the punter. Was Olds.
Running into the kicker, defense, 1. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Agree with that, Stench? Would you have called roughing, or was that running?
I actually do think it would be running. You know, the fact that he was already back down, he's got his leg, he's still hanging it up there. So I think that you see Olds ultimately runs into him.
And Olds is resisting, too. He's trying to get away from him there. So, do it again, 4th and 4. As Duran comes back onto the field, and Ty Bryant just past midfield.
See that? They had failed to advance the ball for the 5-yard penalty. They're respotting the football, still punting it away because it was running into the kicker, not roughing.
Ran to Bryant at the 38, and he called for a fair catch. And after all of that, Kentucky gets the football back, up 8 in the third quarter. Love is in the air, my friends. Tucker Gleason this offseason in July got married to Emma. Quarterbacks coach Robert Weiner officiated. All these Kentucky players are married. A couple of them married this year. David and Angie, Taylor and Cole, all married in 2025. I'm sure all had great officiants for each of those ceremonies, but I actually got to do this, and the only time I'll ever do this, officiating our girl, Alyssa Lang, and Trevor's wedding. And yes, I brought in a special guest, my favorite analyst, Matt Stinchcomb, in the middle of the service.
Man, a blessed occasion, to say the least. Among many, it turns out.
That was definitely the best part, Langer, is when Stinch came in.
Yeah, 1,000%. And took all the guests by surprise. We actually had Chris Doring do an audience report as well, which was great. I will say, Taylor, you prepared just as hard for my wedding as you did any Titans or SEC football game.
Even harder, in fact. Seth McGowan takes the carry there and gets up to the 43-yard line. Roman Harper was cackling. That was my favorite part, is just how entertained he was.
Yeah, he did get a kick out of it, that's for sure.
You guys
got to perform well. They might, they can kick you out of a reception if you don't do a good job. They feed you at halftime here no matter what.
I hear you guys are back together. Stinch, Harp, and Alyssa.
Yeah,
Tuesday nights on SEC Network. I'm excited about that.
Me too.
2nd and 5 for Calzada, who will throw downfield again and over the head again of his intended target, big number 81, Willie Rodriguez.
As the pocket was collapsing, a good first down play. Set up a second down opportunity there at midfield. You think there's a good chance to go downfield. pointer was able to kind of get there right as Calzada uncorked that throw. There's too much juice on it.
Zach's now 8 of 18 for 60 yards passing, and here's another third down for Kentucky. Underneath ball, that's a good one. That's a first down, and that's Josh Caddis. 13-yard first down catch.
Completion number 9, but made possible by Dante Dowdell. Watch number 3 on this blitz pickup. Boom. Braid him up. Great job. Across the formation, saw that downhill blitzer, did a good job on the
And now Dowdell literally runs into his teammates.
I think he almost lost his footing as he was approaching the line of scrimmage.
Calzada flushed out, launches down to Caddis, incomplete. Really good defense there throughout the play by Chris D'Apollonia.
Well said, Taylor. D'Apollonia did a great job of sticking with this. Watch it divide the receiver's hands. Kept it in there. Caddis almost came down with this. And once again, this is scramble drill. We talked about it. It's hard to simulate this stuff. Know what's going to happen in a game. Practice scramble drill in practice and preparation. We've seen it a couple of times where the plays needed to extend. And Kentucky hasn't quite been able to connect.
Calzada over the head of Hester, and now it's fourth down.
See, there's been a couple of times going downfield, just have not given an opportunity for the receiver to come down with it. Earlier on second down, overthrow, that time the ball more upfield and out of bounds.
So David Rayner just come over to him and try to encourage Calzada. Shots by Calzada, but none have hit yet. Third straight Kentucky punt. Ross, his fourth time he's been out there today. And into the end zone it goes, so Toledo starts at the 20. Still a one-score game in Lexington.
Time for our AT&T studio update. Arch Manning trying to get the Longhorns something.
Manning.
4th and 3.
In the end zone.
Incomplete. 0-3 in the red zone so far today. Texas down 14, but driving late in the 4th.
Right, so it could be a short stint at number 1 in these preseason polls. Take those for what they're worth.
What a great week 1 matchup, though.
Yeah,
In fact,
you have 6 of the top 10 playing each other. It's just fantastic. Toledo here, down 10-2. Gleason throws, and that's a good ball. First down to Trayvon Rudolph up to the 40. And Alyssa, Kentucky's missing a couple of defenders out there.
Yeah, starting to get a little bit banged up. Mike's Humphrey Grace, I told you guys, had been in the locker room, downgraded to doubtful to return, and I saw them working on Khalil Saunders' knee, put what appeared to be some icy hot on it. He was moving okay on the sidelines, but not out there.
Now Christian gets ahead to the 41, just a 1-yard gain. And I mean, those are 2 big space eaters, Matt, on the defensive line for the Cats. Grace and Saunders out of the game.
Yeah, and then talking with Brad White, the 2 guys that they were counting on to be difference makers. Mike's Humphrey Grace, an excellent pass rusher. Really surprising, they said, how much skill he had, pass rush trait that he had. And Saunders, another one that they say has been very big contributor in camp.
Gleason wanted to load up, can't do it, and it gets tackled. Alex Afari got him. That's going to be a sack for Alex. What a game he's having.
He just kept after this one. He's going to run. He's going to basically encircle the protection all the way around the would-be block of Kenji Christian. Really also credit the secondary. Nowhere to unload this football for Tucker Gleason before Afari was able to get to him. You're right. Quite an afternoon for number 3. Career high, 10th tackle. Got a lot of ball yet to play.
3rd and 10 for the Rockets. Gleason throws. It's complete, but short of the sticks to Vandeross. Jerian Nichols forced him out, and Toledo's offense goes back to the bench.
Play field position here, and it's not like Kentucky's offense has been very threatening here in the second half. Reason to even be aggressive. We've seen them on 4th down, especially with this field position. But you thought, maybe the Rocket offense had a little something working, moved the pocket on 1st down, able to get it downfield. We're talking about a Kentucky defensive front that's have the full roster, so they're undermanned right now. How does that play out as this half unfolds?
Duran takes a low snap. Bryant comes up to field it at the 24. It's a short punt, just 31-yard punt. Well, Zach Calzada, 4 years ago, had that huge win. At that time when he was Texas A&M's quarterback, he threw for 285 yards, 3 touchdowns. Aggies upset number 1 Alabama 41-38. And at that time, people thought Calzada was going to be the next star in College Station. Instead, left the Aggies after that year, went to Auburn, was injured in 2022, and then came to Incarnate Word for 2 years. We put up some terrific numbers. And now in his 7th and, I believe, final year of eligibility, here he is in Kentucky. McGowan up to the 28-yard line. Down to Alyssa.
Taylor, I thought one of the things yesterday that Zach told us that was really cool and stood out was the fact that this was always the goal for him, to come back to the SEC. Despite a couple of great seasons at Incarnate Word, this guy has a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove that he could be a starter at an SEC school and win in the toughest conference in America.
Golden opportunity here. He's 9 of 21 passing today, and he hands it off again. McGowan short of the first down, but barely.
You think about it, even reportedly had won the job at Auburn before he was injured. Could have had an opportunity there. They had a coaching change. So you think about the number of guys that have been inserted in this lineup, McGowan among them, where Kentucky's hoping to capitalize on this skill set that maybe these other programs weren't capable of.
3rd and 1. And it's Dowdell, first back of 2 to choose from, that gets the first down.
Just churning it out. We mentioned these new entrants here at Kentucky. Dowdell leading Nebraska a season ago in rushing. 614 yards on the ground. Counted for 12 touchdowns. Started 7 games for him.
Calzada out of the backfield, throws underneath the Caddis, and Josh gets the first down. Coaching staff yesterday, Bush Hamden, the offensive coordinator, said, we go as Josh Caddis goes. 12-yard reception there.
Nice job bluffing on his way out. Almost like a zone read play. Pulled out of the back's belly. Dump it out to your tight end if that edge defender collapses.
4th catch for big number 84, the senior from Cincinnati. There's Dowdell. Biggest run of the day for him, and he's down to the Toledo 35. Tackled by McNeil Warren.
Really nice cut by Dante on that carry. Saw it on the back door. Watch him press it play side, and then just run to daylight. You almost took that run running straight downhill. Everybody's blocking to the right. Those holes usually pop open on the back side.
Dante, 10 carries for 50 yards. That's the long run of the day for 16. And now it's Seth McGowan's turn. And look how hard this guy runs. Gets past the 30-yard line. He has had quite the story throughout his collegiate career. Began 5 years ago at Oklahoma. Was kicked off the team there for issues off of the field and was out of college football the next year. Then went to the NAIA, Butler Community College 2 years ago, and had an outstanding year for New Mexico State last year. Calzada keeps it. And he dives near the marker, just short, on what should be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Kentucky is clinging to this 1-score lead, but they're threatening to increase that as we start the 4th quarter in Lexington in week 1 of the college football season. It's a great thing to access here right now. Now the officials are getting taped up. It's week one for all of us. Could put Ohio State and Texas in one of the boxes, Toledo and Kentucky here in another one, using that multi-view. Tennessee and Syracuse there in the fourth quarter. Vols are up double digits there. He should be ready to go.
You got to be safe out there now. It's a lot of action.
Dante Dowdell.
Boom.
And Zach Calzada. And it was Calzada who kept it there on that 3rd and 1 to get the first down for Kentucky. Kentucky a fresh set of downs at the Toledo 25 and up 8. Trying to make this a 2-score game.
They've had to earn it more on this drive than they have on their previous scoring opportunities. Just kind of been grinding it out.
Now Dowdell will lose yardage. Good game by Chris D'Apollonia. He's been everywhere.
Fought off the block, get a couple of pullers out in front. D'Apollonia able to fight through all the traffic, get yet another tackle. You see these negative yardage plays, right? So you're finally moving the football, you're in scoring position just outside of this red zone fringe area. Last thing you want is to start losing steam. The quarter came at a bad time. Kentucky was really starting to settle into a rhythm.
Loss of 1. Calzada keeps it. Immediately tackled there by Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Now 3rd and long.
Really nice tackle by McNeil-Warren. He was coming down from his safety spot. You know, that read was a clean one. The backside edge defender collapsed. He was chasing those pulling linemen. But what Calzada didn't see was McNeil-Warren spinning down late from safety.
It's 11th play of the drive. Kentucky has only thrown it once. You have to think they're about to do it again here.
Addis at tight end, who's proven to be probably the most reliable receiver.
Calzada to the end zone. Is that caught? No, the officials are saying incomplete. The public address announcer is saying touchdown, but the officials disagree. There are flags everywhere.
There's an incomplete pass. Pass interference. Defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Trying to get it to Kendrick Law, who was trying to fight his way back to this football. Ball hung up in the air. You see it underthrown a bit. Law almost. It looked like it juggled, and I think perhaps that's what they're saying. I don't know that he didn't trap the football to the turf. Tough to tell from that angle.
Law has been targeted a couple of times today, but still officially without a catch. That was an impact play, though. It's 1st and 10. Kentucky is 1 for 1 in the red zone today. Calzada scoring that touchdown, running it in, this time to McGowan, and Seth running hard. Physical down to the 6.
You can't say with these running backs, when they get up, they hit it up inside, especially these inside runs, which is something that Bush Hamdan said. There'll be a lot of inside between the tackle runs.
Wasn't that Benny Snell, Chris Rodriguez?
Yes.
Wasn't that the identity of those Mark Stoops 10-win teams?
Bigger, thicker runners. McGowan goes about 215, 220. Dowdell's closer to 230.
Kavion Sherman is down for Toledo. And we'll take a break here with 12:36 to go. Coming up next, Arkansas hosts Alabama A&M. Dave, Fozzie, and Morgan will be there. And then tonight it's TV Tommy, Jordan, and Cole. Ole Miss hosting Georgia State. Oklahoma, Florida, Vandy. You can stream them on SEC Network Plus and the all-new ESPN app. So it doesn't matter where you are if you want to watch that. Kentucky and Toledo here in the fourth quarter. It's an 11-play, 50-yard drive for the Cats. 2nd and 5 from the Toledo 6. McGowan around the corner. Touchdown!
Does a good job of getting outside, capturing the corner, and just show him just enough speed to get to that pylon. Kendrick Law, they had him kind of running that orbit motion through the backfield to get that defense leaning the opposite way that they intended to attack. The Cats, and for the second time, finding their way into the end zone.
Callaway with the extra point. Seth McGowan has waited years for a chance to play in the Southeastern Conference. He runs hard and angry into the finish. Cats are up 2 scores.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands.
SEC Network Football presented by Allstate. As you see the Cats from the pylon cam scoring that touchdown. 2 rushing touchdowns today for Kentucky. First by quarterback Zach Calzada. That one by that man Seth McGowan. And the lead is 17-2 for those that are flipping over after watching Ohio State beat Texas. Welcome to Kroger Field here in Lexington, where Kentucky's trying to start the season with a victory. Toledo limited to only 2 points today. Have not done anything offensively. And here comes Rudolph, 2 yards deep in the end zone. And he brings it out across the 30-yard line. It's the first Ohio State victory against a #1 team at home in 40 years. AP #1 team Texas today. Obviously that will change.
That #1 team in '85 was, I believe, Iowa. Wow.
Chuck Long, I think, quarterback.
Could have been. It's a long time ago. So see if Toledo can take advantage. The Kentucky defense is now a little bit deeper into their depth chart along that defensive front. I mentioned no Humphrey Grace or Khalil Saunders on the field on the defensive line.
Tucker Gleason mount the comeback. It's a good start, crossing midfield to his target, Vanderos. The best plays of the game, 23 yards.
Had a great matchup. Working against Afari, who's had a heck of a game. But a linebacker versus one of your better receivers. It's a matchup you want to exploit, and did. The ball there that time by Gleason. Plenty of time to operate from the pocket. Not something we've been able to say most of the afternoon for Toledo offensively.
5 catches for Vanderos for 63 yards. Trainum, a former Wildcat, inside the 45, down to the 43. He's been quiet since the first half.
How about that, though? You get a decent kickoff return, and then an explosive play on first down, and you're in positive territory, just like that. Kentucky defensively has played very well most of this game. Make sure that they don't get lulled to sleep here.
Gleason, pocket collapsing. He gets out of there. And takes on defenders to get down to the 38. That was Cam Dooley that hit him and prevented the first down.
Gleason, though, delivering a hit. You know, he's not super twitchy as a runner, but opportunistic right there to get this to a 3rd and short. Now, we've seen the Rockets. They have not been afraid to try to get downhill, but we also saw earlier a 3rd and right at 2 yards, and they ended up attempting to pass there.
They're 3 for 11 on 3rd down. They haven't converted one in the second half. Gleason holds on to it. Oh, good catch, but a flag comes in at the end of the play. Aziram with the catch. Let's see if this is a hit on the quarterback.
From the center judge, dropped the flag there.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 92, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Saunders, who did get back in there.
Yeah, he sat out the last drive, Stinch, but back in there now, at least on that last play.
Watch this. Can't do it. You got 2 officials standing back there. You can't do it. The center judge and a white hat. The head referee. Center judge, it's an easy call. You're just gifting your opponent now plenty of time on the clock in a 2-possession ball game. And Toledo, best drive of the game, sparked by the kick return and the early completion on first down.
Second trip to the red zone today, turned it over on downs the first time. Gleason, underneath, incomplete. Just trying to get it to Ezram there, and Afari, call him the MVP of the defensive performance today.
Yeah, he's been all over the field. Obviously, Vanderos got that completion and the mismatch on Afari earlier, but number 3 has been a stalwart defender for the Wildcats most of this afternoon. Can Toledo capitalize on this red zone possession?
Trainum, loose, and down inside the 10, near the marker, just short. Let's see if Toledo turns up the tempo here.
Yes, you can see them got over the ball quickly, but substituted. You can see that center judge over the ball. You have to allow the defense, which did. Kentucky with 2 defenders on the field.
Gleason keeps it, could take off and get the first and will, and he gets the touchdown.
Safari kind of caught in no man's land. Gleason did a good job making sure that Afari had to respect the pass. Watching the read and the pull. You got 2 opportunities on the edge. Watch it far. He didn't know. He'll stay in coverage. Is he going to dump it off to him? No. At least as soon as he turns his back.
Interesting decision here, Stinch. If you kick the extra point, you're down 8. You're going to still have to go for 2, obviously, but the Rockets are going ahead and try to do it now. Option, Gleason throws, end zone, got it. Flag down as Rusk makes the catch for the conversion.
Offense, number 81, 15-yard penalty. We'll have to try again.
Now you have to kick it and make it an 8-point game.
I'm with you, Taylor, right? You see 81, it's too obvious what he's doing, right? You have to act as if you can't sell it like you're blocking. You almost literally did. Just run the route.
This is just outside a 35-yard extra point try here for Dylan Kunanen. And it's good. So it's an 8-point game, 9:38 left in the game, and Toledo is still hanging around. It's a one-score game again. Kentucky leading the Rockets by 8, the second ever meeting between these two schools. We were here for the first one 6 years ago when Kentucky won by 14. Thought that this guy, Kendrick Law, would make a big impact today. He's been out there for kick returns. He did draw a pass interference penalty that led to a Kentucky touchdown, but he does not have a catch yet. 1:38 left. Rockets beat Mississippi State in Starkville last year. Trying to beat another SEC team on the road. Here's Law at the 2. He is hit as he crosses the 20-yard line. All right, a new feature as we send it down to Alyssa.
You mentioned Kendrick Law being a potential impact player for Kentucky. Well, he makes my top 5 off-season impact transfer list. Yeah, he's been a little bit quiet today, but the coaches said his development throughout the course of the season could be huge for this Kentucky offense. Also on the list, Zachariah Branch, #1 receiver out of the portal. Remember all those drops that Georgia had a season ago, Stinch? Maybe Zachariah Branch can help with that in 2025. Nicky Menwari goes early in the NFL draft, part of that South Carolina defense that lost a lot. They're excited about Brandon Cisse, the NC State transfer coming in, and some talented wide receivers between Casey Concepcion and Kevin Coleman Jr. as well.
Yeah, great list there. Dowdell, watch out. Trying to hit the home run ball. Dante, goodbye. And now Alyssa has added him to the list. 79 yards for the transfer from Nebraska.
Well, that'll dress up the box score. Look back at this one. What an answer. Really well blocked up front. Dowdell has been bumping away, grinding away in the ground game this afternoon, able to rip off an explosive play in the rushing attack.
A 15-point game again, just like that. Kentucky only had 11 rushing touchdowns last year, Stinch. They have 3 in this game today.
Lots of double teams. Lots of double teams up there. Actually, double teamed out. Able to get downhill clean into the second level. Great job by Dowdell. Hey, no frills running. Just go bang your head on the goalpost, kid. They've been waiting for that all afternoon. If you're a Kentucky football fan, your takeaway can easily be, and there's still 9.5 to play, is, hey, defense playing much better. Ground game, looks like it, at the very least, is going to be intentional. They're going to stick with it. May have to, based on what we've seen so far in this game.
Fearless guy right there. Grew up catching alligators on the Mississippi-Louisiana border. 12 carries now for 128 yards, and that 79-yard run, the big play in this game. It's a career-long and carry. And now Toledo will have it at the 25, down 15 in the game. Toledo is coming off of their best drive of the game, but just like that, they're right back where they were the last time they had the ball.
Yeah, it's almost like giving up a kick return or something. You know, it's just such a huge momentum swing. Think about that last drive. You know, nice return out of the end zone, incidentally. Could have taken the touchback on that previous kick to Toledo. And then they got the big completion over to Vander Ross. And that kind of sparked, that ignited the offense in a way we haven't seen all afternoon. See if they can replicate it. Similar field position. They got it at the 30 last time. Kind of caught the Kentucky defense on its heels.
Gleason. Seemed like there was some miscommunication there. Trainum incomplete. A couple other games that are just starting up. Georgia and Marshall between the hedges in Athens. And Alabama at Florida State in Tallahassee. Dogs are on ESPN, Tide on ABC. Gleason pumps. See if he takes off. No, throws incomplete into Kentucky defenders looking for Vander Ross. Now, 3rd down. Yeah, everybody's been talking about Texas and LSU going into the season, and rightfully so. The SEC has gone through Alabama and Georgia for over a decade now. Do you think it still does?
Well, I think that's probably more in flux than it's ever been. Partly because of a team that we just saw lose, incidentally, on the road in one of the marquee matchups in Texas. LSU is a contender. I think it's a much more crowded upper tier this year than it has been before. I do think that Alabama and Georgia still make sense as being among the favorites, along with the Texas, but there are a few that are just outside of them.
Gleason on third down throws short. And short of the sticks is Peterson.
Who's y'all's dark horse, though, to get to Atlanta? Because I know mine.
A&M.
Yeah.
Texas A&M.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm not the only one.
Oh, wait, so he took yours.
They're the X I'll never stop going back to.
We just saw the wedding photos. You're never going back to that.
Chris Doering is high on Oklahoma.
He's really high on Mateer, Cam Ward's backup at Washington State from a couple of years ago.
Big fourth down here
I'm
at
going to go
Kentucky.
with the Gamecocks, by the way, as my answer, Lenora Sellers. Here's fourth down, and that's a great catch, and first down catch by Vandeross.
Great hands catch to get this first down. Extend this drive. 2-possession ball game after that big run from Dowdell. Slam on the brakes. Probably felt like he was in coverage. Really, he was more open than I think he even realized when he made that catch.
Gleason, near side. Up to the 44 is Eric Hawley.
2 opponents right now if you're Toledo, given the way the afternoon has gone. Obviously the defense on the field, and then, of course, the clock that you're battling against continues to tick.
Coach Candle tied with the great Gary Pinkel for the most wins in Toledo history. Gleason, way down there, incomplete. Had it in his hands too. Eric Hawley put it on him, but unable to bring it in. Third down.
Good ball. And in a collapsing pocket, more and more crowded as that route unfolded. Hawley just couldn't come up with it. We've seen a couple of those now in this game where the passing has not been pinpoint, but there have also been opportunities, especially on some of these downfield shots, where the receivers could have, should have come up with the catch. That would be true there for Hawley.
Gleason off his back foot, double coverage, first down catch by Crosby.
Crosby kind of double clutched on that catch. He's able to finally corral it and move the chains. Kentucky defensively making the Rockets move the ball methodically here in this passing game.
Gleason facing pressure, steps up, throws, incomplete. Threw it over Vandeross's head. Davin Rayner's hit on Gleason, I think, impacted where that ball landed.
It was a double barrel blitz here, so you bring edge pressure. The first one to arrive, they eats up the protecting back, Quaysheve Scott, and then of course Davin Rayner was able to get the big hit. That was a pressure overthrow. Otherwise, we've seen that twice now this afternoon.
Wallensack plows forward to the 46, third down Toledo, 6.5 minutes to go. Kentucky up 15 in this game. Toledo beat Mississippi State in Starkville last year, 41-17. Outlasted Pitt in a 6 overtime thriller the day after Christmas, winning 48-46. 2 straight Power 4 wins, but big mountain to climb here in the fourth. Gleason, far side, short to Wallensack.
That was something that the Kentucky coaching staff was talking about, just the resilience of this Toledo football team that was demonstrated in that bowl game. They had concern, before that Dowdell run, the resilience shown in this game. So yet another fourth down attempt on this drive, trying to keep this possession alive, down 2 scores. Stoops trying to coach up his guys on the back end.
Rockets are 1 for 3 on 4th today. Gleason hit as he throws, and it's a turnover on downs.
What a big hit on Gleason. It's just been the story of the afternoon. Big win. Lewis Saunders had himself an afternoon. So watch him. Here he is right here, and he's going to win inside. You just can't lose. You can't afford to lose on an inside rush. Boom. There have been some throws to be had downfield in this game. A couple receivers running open. Quarterback for Toledo and Tucker Gleason just hasn't had an opportunity to deliver an accurate throw because most of the afternoon he's had a Kentucky defensive lineman in his lap, or at least bearing down on him. That has largely been the story all game long.
And Kentucky takes over just short of midfield. McGowan hit in the backfield there by Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Calzada only 85 yards throwing today. He does have a rushing touchdown in the game.
That will embellish much on those passing numbers. Obviously, you're sitting here trying to bleed this thing down. Toledo's got opportunities to stop this clock. We've got a full 10 yards to go. There have been some misses downfield in this game in the passing attack.
I think that guy running around the backfield, number 1, Kendrick Law, would factor into the offense at some point today as McGowan takes the carry again and doesn't get much. Kendrick coming over from Alabama this season. Maybe it's next week where we see Law break through when the Ole Miss Rebels come here to Lexington to play Kentucky. It's a 3:30 start on ABC. Bush Hamden, the offensive coordinator for Kentucky, he wants to use Law in a multitude of ways.
Yeah, they talked about him, he's listed as a receiver. He's not a refined route runner. Like, still trying to figure out that position. But when we looked at him in pregame, the guy's built like a running back. And he's got great top end speed. Seen a couple of times where they tried to stretch the field to him downfield in the passing game. Had an opportunity on one of them, just overthrown. But we haven't seen a lot of like a tap pass, getting to the ball quickly, a couple of now passes. Haven't seen those in this passing attack. And as you pointed out, maybe next week versus Ole Miss, when the Rebels come calling, we'll see Kendrick Law factor a little bit more in this offensive game plan.
But to your point, really no wide receiver has impacted the game.
Yeah.
It's the tight ends, Caddis and Rodriguez, that have been the primary targets today for Calzada. On 3rd and 9, Zach has time to throw, and it's at the feet of J.J. Hester, 4th down.
Bush Hampton mentioned that. We don't really have a guy that's a go-to. We don't have a one. We've got a collection of receivers, but none that have fully emerged. Think about a lot of new faces in that passing battery, and a frustrating afternoon.
This is LaRosse's 5th punt today. They tried to come after it. A great punt by LaRosse. Fair catch at the 11 by Hammer. 44-yard punt. Let's check out the good hands plays brought to you by Allstate.
We talked about a number of turnovers in this game. And it started out early. This is what got the Kentucky offense going. Early interception. They're able to jam one in there on a QB sneak. And it was the short fields that really helped the Kentucky offense, especially in the first half of their scoring. Only 10 points in that first half. Both were set up by short fields created by the defense.
There was a holding penalty on Toledo on that punt, so Toledo is pushed back to their own 5-yard line to start this drive. Tucker Gleason, 6-year senior from Tampa, Florida. 19 of 35 passing for these fans that have come to Lexington to watch him. He's going to need to pull off a miracle in these next 4+ minutes.
And that was not obviously the recipe they were seeking to have, right? They wanted to get that running game going. They wanted to get Chip Trayanum going a little bit in the ground game. Just couldn't do it.
Here's Chip falling down in the backfield. That's his 14th carry of the day, just over 40 yards. David Gusta was there to make sure he was down. Toledo plays Western Kentucky in their home opener next Saturday night on ESPN Plus at 7 o'clock.
A team that in Toledo that is expected or projected to win the Mid-American Conference this year.
Preseason favorites. There's Trayanum out of the backfield getting loose. And Chip crosses the 25-yard line.
Obviously, sense of urgency. We haven't seen a ton of the tempo. Obviously, it's a function of the clock and circumstance here in the second half.
Gleason, incomplete.
But really, that is more of their game, is an up-tempo offensive approach. It does not make sense, though, especially when you're punching up a weight class, which they are in this one. That was evident. You walk around in pregame, you're going, some of these bodies are a good bit bigger than some of these other bodies. You got to make sure that you don't wear yourself out. A lot of quick possessions, and we saw those anyway. But you don't want to do it by a function of just standing on the gas the whole game. So in some ways, Toledo was playing a little bit left-handed, just from an offensive philosophy standpoint.
On 2nd and 10, Gleason is tripped up by Cam Olds.
Another nice pass rush. Cam Olds. Watch him, he wins coming off the right side right here. It's been a tough afternoon for the Rockets. Just wins that outside shoulder and able to get a short form.
Underneath throw. And a first down run after the catch by Christian.
See the Rockets out there still scrapping, still fighting. This is a team that you mentioned, Jason Candle, coaching staff that's been intact for a long time.
Yeah, 6 years. The offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, strength coach, and head coach have been together. It's the longest stretch in all of college football. That used to be the norm. Just over 2 minutes left in the game. Gleason, first down ball, good ball, and a nice turn by Brown. Off to the races inside the 30. Javon Brown is marked down at the 20.
How about that? So now you're knocking on the door if you're the Rockets. Mess around and convert here. You steal a possession quickly. They still have those 2 timeouts to play with.
And that is the 2-minute timeout. Toledo down 15, but in scoring position. presented by Sonic, coming up next on SEC Network. Then tonight, it's Ole Miss and Georgia State, presented by T-Mobile here on SEC Network. Get all the rest of those games on SEC Network Plus and the all-new ESPN app. Here, Toledo is down 15, but they are threatening to score. They're at the Kentucky 20. There's 2 minutes left in the game. Toledo has 2 timeouts. Gleason across the middle. Touchdown, Rockets. Junior Vandeross.
How's that for an answer? Toledo goes right down the field. That's back-to-back scoring drives now for the Toledo offense. These guys finding ways to answers. Marching right down the field. As we mentioned, they can stop the clock 2 more times. A 2-minute warning came in. They did not have to use any timeouts on that possession.
And the extra point makes it an 8-point game. Toledo's only been held to single digits once in their last 60 games. And that, of course, will not happen now.
Gleason, once again, when he's been given time, puts it right on Vandeross. His favorite target here this afternoon. Seeing a little bit of frustration, I'm sure, over there going, look, I've got time, and I've got a chance.
Is it onside kick time here for Toledo? They do have 2 timeouts left.
They've got a chance to get a stop and get the ball back with time. You've got those timeouts to play with. The question is, do you think that you can get the ball back? Can you get that stop? Second half hasn't been great. Really, neither team has been fantastic this second half, but the 2 longest drives for Kentucky have happened here in the second half. Marching right down the field, 12 plays for nearly 80 yards, 76 yards and a touchdown. Can you get that stop?
Hans' team is out there, Stinch, for Toledo, and Kendrick Law is standing back at his 20, so.
We're saying, look, we'll see if we can't steal a possession here on an onside.
Kickoff specialist Robert Hammond III. And he just tries to dribble it. That didn't go far enough. Our old colleague Pat McAfee do that in the Super Bowl. Just dribble it straight forward when, of course, the opposition wasn't expecting it, but it's got to go 10 yards. It didn't, so Kentucky will take over.
The kick was illegally touched at the 43. It'd be first and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Thank you, Kyle.
So now you're afforded the same opportunity. Try to find a way to get a stop, still with those 2 timeouts. You ceded a good bit of field position with the attempt, but still a chance.
We're splitting hairs. I'm not sure why Kentucky doesn't get it at the 42, because Toledo pushed it back to the 43, but nevertheless, with flags on the field, Dowdell is hit at the line of scrimmage.
Offside, defense, number 9, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Loose Julian.
Just hunkered down in there. See if he can't get a stop. Obviously, Kentucky with the big personnel out there. I haven't seen a lot of it this afternoon, incidentally. The 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends. Trying to get away from that a little bit more spread formations to their intent.
Not only a 5-yard penalty, but also the clock starts running again. Dowdell, not much. It's 37, and Toledo has now just one timeout left as they call their second one with 1:17 to go. We talked about Kentucky having Ole Miss next week. At least going into the year, if you look at the records of last year's teams, Kentucky has the 5th toughest schedule in college football. They play the Rebels, Gamecocks, the Gators, Dogs, the Horns, the Vols, and then, of course, Louisville to finish the season. Louisville ended Kentucky's string of 19 consecutive non-conference victories when the Cardinals beat them here last year.
So many. They just pick a ton of fights in this schedule. And as you mentioned, even as the SEC migrates to that 9-game schedule, with that requirement, you got to have a Power 4 somebody in there. Well, it's built in with the rivalry game versus Louisville. Kentucky has got a very difficult hill to climb this year from a schedule perspective.
On 2nd and 4, Dowdell hit immediately right at the line. Good play, Avery Smith. And the Rockets charged with their last timeout. Now, Coach Stoops told Alyssa before the game that his new kicker, Jacob Coway, could kick easily from 50 plus. So they are in his range if they don't get a first down here. But a first down, for all intent and purposes, puts the game away. Stinch, we got Bama FSU going on now. South Carolina, Virginia Tech tomorrow. Miami, Notre Dame tomorrow. LSU, Clemson tonight.
That's the one I'm interested in. You talk about two quarterbacks that are thought to be among the best in college football. Garrett Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik. Everyone is pointing to Clemson as just a shoe-in to the playoff and likely the conference championship. What a fantastic matchup amongst the Tigers of Death Valley.
Seth McGowan running hard, and the game's over. That's a first down run for Seth, and Kentucky can go into victory formation. They said he's mad at the ground, Stinch. Look at this.
Looks like he's mad at the defenders, too. I got to be honest. Look, the anger is equal opportunity anger. It's not just the ground. He wasn't real pleased with the would-be tacklers either. That's a heck of a run to ice this game.
A lot to correct, I'm sure, that Coach Stoops will talk about. Calzada 10 of 23 passing, just 85 yards. But Kentucky got back to being physical. Physical with energy and execution. They ran for over 200 yards. Dante Dowdell busted one for a 79-yard touchdown run. And Kentucky outlasts one of the better teams in the group of 5, beating Toledo 24-16.
Well, if you're a defensive coach, you can be relatively pleased with your performance of your respective units. You take that 80-yard run, 79-yard run, and Toledo held up pretty well defensively in this game. A lot of self-inflicted wounds for Kentucky. Easy to clean up some of the decision-making. So now you just have to build off of. You always want to learn from a win. Plenty to learn from in this one. We may look back in this game and find that this is a quality victory over what could end up being a conference champion in the Toledo Rockets. They got a lot to clean up too on their side of the football offensively, but both these defenses played pretty good football this afternoon.
Combine Dowdell and McGowan, the two new tailbacks for Kentucky, ran for 207 yards on 32 carries. This was the big one, Dowdell's 79-yard house call.
That's the one that, it needed the answer, right? Toledo just gone in there to score. You got the other McGowan. Both these new running backs making their presence felt in this game.
And they're both with Alyssa.
Dante and Seth join me here. Guys, congratulations on the win. Everyone was so excited to see what y'all would bring to this running back room this year in Lexington. You're constantly talking to each other. This was a 4-quarter game. What do you tell each other out there?
just keep running. Like that long run we had, waiting for it all day, hitting the ball in the right place every time, and it finally happened.
Seth, for you, this has been a long time coming, getting to the SEC. What did it feel for you out there to cross the plane and score your first touchdown for Kentucky?
Oh, no, it was great. It was great to just do it with my guys. It was a big celebration. That's a credit to all of us, and just looking forward to getting back at it next week.
This offense has worked so hard to gel together. Dante, what was it like out there with this group, and what are you looking forward to doing in your next game next weekend?
It was nice. It was nice. I feel like everything going together. Holes open. I feel like our lineman was getting in the right place. We just had to keep pounding them, eventually things open up. But, it's the first game, like me and Seth, we didn't really scrimmage. So this is our first time really going out there and getting tackled and stuff. So we're getting back used to all that,
I have to ask you, how does SEC football, wearing the SEC uniform, compare to catching alligators as a kid? Did you do that?
Oh, here y'all go, man.
You got to tell us about this.
That's something different. We were just fishing, just caught an alligator, If it was now, I probably would have killed it and ate it or something.
You got to protect the hands now. Just casually catching alligators and winning games. Guys, congratulations.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
All right, we're going to send it back to the studio. Peter, Ceedee, and Benjamin Watson getting you set for our next game out there in Fayetteville, Arkansas. So long from Lexington, Kentucky. Cats victorious 24-16. PB, take it away.
Thank you, Lang. You ever caught an alligator with your hands?